The Charles Oliveira story. From disabled to UFC champion. As a child, Charles Oliveira could have been disabled for life. The fighter's legs failed, and he moved around in a wheelchair. But he eventually became the UFC champion. The fighter was born in the Brazilian favelas, and as a child he almost remained disabled for life. The doctors predicted that he would not be able to walk, but Charles did not give up. As a child, Oliveira loved football, but at the age of 7 he developed arthritis. He spent 2 years in the hospital. Charles was born in the favelas of Sao Paulo, to a cleaner and a slaughterhouse worker as a child. The boy, like all young Brazilians, adored football, but at the age of 7 he faced a tragedy. Doctors forbade him to train. They diagnosed abnormal heart murmurs and rheumatoid arthritis affecting the ankles. Charles was in great pain and could hardly move, and for a football-obsessed boy, this was a serious test. Doctors told his parents that he could forget about sports and would probably be disabled for life. The doctor said he wouldn't walk, that he would stay in a wheelchair. But we replied that we would never put up with that. I knew God wouldn't allow that, Charles's mother recalled. Oliveira could not move his ankles and spent 2 years in the hospital. The mother was sleeping in the ward, on the floor next to her son's bed. Once she did not return home for a whole month. She stayed with him at night in the hospital, and at 5 in the morning she went to work. Then Charles was left alone. Today, he remembers these moments with horror. I spent 2 years in the hospital, and it was sick because I couldn't go anywhere. My parents had to work, so I was often alone, and it was hard to get used to it, Oliveira shares. There was not enough money for treatment. Charles' father worked in a slaughterhouse and sold eggs at the local market, and his mother was a simple school cleaner. But the family was helped by her boss, the school principal, in whose house she worked part-time. Oliveira gave up football and fell in love with it. He was introduced to the sport by his friend's father. Charles' mother was against her son's hobby. She was afraid he would get hurt again, but the father supports, and success is not late. He started jiu-jitsu 2 months after he left the hospital, and 2 months later, he won the local championship. When we got back to the doctor's office, he said it was impossible, and Charles already had 2 gold medals, his father recalls with pride. In the jiu-jitsu hall, Oliveira is well remembered. He always wanted to dominate other children. Even the girls found out the hard way. This is the reason why one day his coach will punish him. The coach thought he would not return, but the next day came with a double desire to train. Oliveira entered the big sport, but remained a man from the slums. Charles goes by the nickname Do Bom, which is Portuguese slang for a man from the favelas.